How's it going, you guys? Scott with Everyday Home Repairs, and today I'm going to be adding a little more light into my garage. Now this could work for your living space as well when we have a finished ceiling. We do not want to make this a drywall project. We do not want to make this a painting project. And also we do not have attic access, so that makes it a little bit more tricky. But I need to get a junction box down here, power pulled from the light down by you guys. Now I'll give you a few different options in terms of the supplies you're gonna need to get and tools that will make this project easier. So let's jump into it. We'll start things off by turning the power off so we can confirm our plan. We'll remove the two mounting screws here to take the lamp holder off to see the internals. Now once we get the wires exposed, double check there's no power with your non-contact voltage tester. Then we'll remove the lamp holder and see what we're dealing with. So why I jump in here, I want to see this junction box before cutting out any holes, installing the new junction box, is because I want to confirm my plan of attack. I was going to take Romex from this box in this direction down to our new hole location. But now by just looking at the inside, here's an example new work box just like the one here. You can see the three sides that actually have the Romex clamps on them. You can look at the three sides and know that your actual structure, your truss or your stud in the wall is on the side that has no clamps. Unfortunately, in my scenario, that is actually this side. So unexpectedly, I actually do have my floor trusses supporting the second story of this home actually run perpendicular to the path that I want to run that Romex. So although it would still be doable, you can get a flexible auger bit and kind of fight with that, it's going to be a lot harder going that direction. So I need an alternate plan of attack. Now before jumping into plan B, I do want to call your attention to something new we're offering from Everyday Home Repairs. I've been doing a ton of homework on solar and battery backup in prep both for a DIY project I'm working on and also a professional roof mounted install that we're working on for 2023. Now one of the guys I ran across, Julian Todd Borden, I've been talking to quite a bit lately, and he's helping me out on some of these projects. Julian has an awesome YouTube channel, which you'll see the link in the description. But the unique thing that Julian offers that I haven't seen from others is he does one-on-one consulting. So if you're considering some different offers, you want a recommendation, you just want a second opinion, or you want a reference to a trusted installer in your area, Julian can make all that happen. So if you guys are considering solar or battery backup for your home, you need a little help, there's a link in the description that will take you over to a form. The form I put together is just going to get some basic information on your home, location, what's your average monthly electrical bill, and then the contact information. And then Julian and his team can reach out to you, look at the specifics of your home, which every home's going to be a little different. What size of system should you be considering? How do you future-proof your install? And then what would be a reasonable cost and who to actually turn to for installers in your area. So I'll also keep you posted on my personal solar projects and what I'm learning along the way. But let's jump back into this project and look at our plan B. So the alternative plan. New light location is actually right over here. Originally, we're going to take power and Romex coming from this junction box, but as you saw, our floor joists are running perpendicular to that. So Romex is currently daisy chained through each of these light fixtures, and there is a small attic space on this far side of the garage. Now that attic space gives me access to this light fixture and the light fixture down in the corner. But then it ends. It ends about 2 feet away from that ladder you can see going up into the ceiling. So I'm still gonna have to use the same technique, but I'm just gonna use this light location here. I will have some attic access to that junction box, but I am gonna have to fish that Romex. So I'm not gonna have attic access to get the Romex through the floor joist all the way over to this light location here. So it's gonna be the same technique even though my plan had to change. But before running the Romex, let's go ahead and cut the new junction box location. Now I'm testing this out. This is a Milwaukee adjustable hole cutter. It has the built-in guard. It actually has a spring adapter that allows you to then adjust the depth while keeping the guard on the drywall. Pretty awesome. I have it set to 4 inches to cut out a hole for an old work junction box, but you do have a few different options when you cut these holes. So here's a little closer look on that Milwaukee adjustable hole cutter. The guard did a great job with keeping all that dust and debris and the plug itself within the guard. The hole cutter comes right out of that. And then to make adjustments, there's just a quick disconnect there. You pull the drill bit out, and then here is where you can make the adjustments. So you can see, if we clean these off, you can see measurements there, and that is what's going to allow you to adjust to different hole sizes. So this would be a 4.25 hole. You adjust both sides like that, put your drill bit back in, put your quick disconnect back on, feed that back through your guard, and then go ahead and mount that in the chuck of your drill. This is great. It's $40 to $50, and you can find this, there's a link below this video to our Amazon store. Under the electrical section, you'll find the Milwaukee adjustable hole cutter, but you'll also find options such as this, which is a 4-inch junction box by Southwire. This serves as your junction box, but it actually has a built-in hole cutter, and that's why it's called the shark tooth box. I've done a video on this. It does work. It's a one and done. You pop that off after you cut your hole, and then you have your junction box. So if you're only doing one of these, this might be a good solution for you. If you have multiple different holes, or you want just a tool that's going to cover a wide range of holes that you need to cut in drywall and drop ceiling, this Milwaukee adjustable hole cutter is awesome. So now we're going to fish a line. This one's going to be a fiberglass line. You could also have a steel fish tape. And we're going to fish it up through this hole all the way across the room to that other light location, and then we'll be pulling the Romex back through. So that's how we're going to connect these two up. So what I want to actually do is I'll use my hand up here and I'll hold the fish tank against the drywall and in the corner of that floor joist. So then I'll run that fish tape trying to stay in that corner, and then that's going to help us guide that fish tape, because I do have insulation in this cavity, so the fish tape can easily get caught up if you're not directing it. And one thing you can do is measure the distance that you need to travel, and then once you have that distance, go ahead and mark that. You can see I have electrical tape. Then you're going to know, okay, I'm about at that other hole, or I'm about at the top plate of the wall, or whatever you're fishing through. That's going to give you more guidance that you've reached the end of the line, and now you're able to go and grab the fish tape on the other side. All right, so now on the other end, I have my fish tape already coming out the hole. It's not always that easy. Sometimes you need to make yourself a little hook and kind of get up in that cavity and pull around so you can actually grab that fish tape, because sometimes it's not exactly at your hole and you got to kind of dig around a little bit. So a little scrap piece of wire can come in pretty handy. Now what you want to do with your Romex is you'll strip back some of this sheathing. You'll keep your ground the longest, and then your two conductors kind of staggered. You'll take that ground through the small hole in the fish tape itself, and then you'll go ahead and double back, wrapping that around several times. And this is 14 gauge wire. I'm just matching 14 gauge wire because that is what's coming into this junction box. All right, so once you get that to where you want it, and you want to make sure it's secure, because you don't want to lose your Romex halfway through the pull when you're pulling that wire back up and through. If you have a helper, it is nice to have somebody kind of feeding this side as you pull from the other side. But that is not always the case, so you do want to make sure you wrap this nicely with your electrical tape, making sure there's nothing that can get snagged as you're pulling it through the cavity, especially since we have insulation. And so if there's any sharp points or wire sticking out, that is going to snag on the insulation and give us trouble. So we should be all set now. I'm going to go pull it back through to the other side, and then we'll have a piece of Romex coming to this box, and we can easily wire things up. It shouldn't be too hard to pull this through. Now, if you're catching on something, kind of take your time, or again, see if you can get a helper to kind of help feed that up and through. So now we have our Romex to this fixture, and we can start wiring things up on this end. Now we'll use an old work box, and this is a 4-inch ceiling box. Sometimes you also use them for vanities. We'll run that Romex through the plastic clamps, and you never want to hang any weight from a junction box like this. This is just for simple light fixtures such as the lamp holder that we'll be installing. You'll tighten these 3 screws. That is tightening the tabs on the back of the drywall, and that is what holds the box in place. Once that's all tightened up, then we'll go ahead and take our razor blade and we'll remove the sheathing from the Romex, peeling that back, exposing our bare ground and our 2 conductors, neutral being white and black being hot. Now for this simple light fixture, we're going to strip and J-hook the hot and the neutral, but we're actually not going to use the ground. So I'm just going to tuck that back up into place before wiring the lamp holder. Now with the lamp holder, we'll use the gold and silver terminals. Silver is going to go to the neutral, the white wire, and gold is going to go to your hot or black wire. Tighten those down, and then we'll be able to tuck everything back up and in, and we'll have 2 mounting screws for this porcelain light fixture, but be careful, this is a porcelain fixture. This lamp holder can crack if you over tighten it. Now with that in place, we'll jump to the other end, and now is where we tie everything together. Power is still off, but we're bringing that Romex in, the new one and the existing one, and that's how we're going to bring power to our new location. Same thing, it's just a little different color, but this is an old work box, so you'll tighten up those 3 screws to get that box secured into place. Go ahead and score the 14-2. You can score right down the middle because there is actually paper that is protecting the bare ground, which is always in the middle of your Romex. I know a lot of people are scared that they're going to actually nick or damage the conductors, but usually right in the middle you're going to be safe. Now with this one, it's a little different. We're going to use what's called pigtailing. So I'm using 3 wire Wago lever nuts. These are 413s and then a 412 for that ground. The nice thing about this, I love them for light fixtures because I can pre-wire my pigtails and then just with 2 flips of a lever, I have everything wired up. Then go ahead and tuck those wires back up into the box. And again, we'll tighten that fixture, taking our time to get it secure, but we do not want to over tighten because that would crack the porcelain lamp holder. And it's as easy as that. Now I have all 5 lamp holders up and running, and I have a lot more light in my garage for future projects. Now, if you want to check out another very popular video on our channel where we do not do drywall work, we do not do painting, but we're able to move an outlet location, check out this video right here. I'll walk you through the complete process, making sure you're able to work smarter and not necessarily harder. So thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll catch you on that next one. Take care.